Good day everyone, thank you for coming to the channel. Today I would like to showcase my Breath of the Dying Bowazon. So I have quite a few Bowazons and this is one of them. And she still sucks at killing Bale, but this is one of the tunes I have. So let me show you my talents, my gears, and the whole shebang. So first, my weapon is Breath of the Dying made out of Hydra Bow. And this is a perfect base, but my roll is 3% enhanced damage off. Like, I don't care about the life leech, it's like between 12 to 15, but yeah, I just care about the enhanced damage. So I'm 3% off. I stopped here for now because, it's 3% off, right? Yeah, I believe it's between like what, 350 to 400, so your variance is 50. Hence, yeah, 397 base, I guess, it's definitely not bad. But also, I have one made out in Crusader Bow. And this one doesn't have the attack rating, but it is a 15 max enhanced damage base. And this one, as you can see, is 1% off. So, I do have more materials for Breath of the Dying. So I might just re-roll and see if I can get the perfect one. But for now, I'm just rolling with this. And my armor is a 42 made out of Archon plate. And this is a perfect base and a perfect roll. And on my helmet, I'm using a kind of mix of jewels. So this is a 30 faster run walk with 3 socket. And if you can see, like, you'll be wondering, like, what the fuck? Like, what are these jewels you put in here, right? So obviously, because it's a copy off of that Korean guy. Like, yeah, I should have probably linked this stuff on every video. Maybe I'll go ahead and fix that later. But it's this guy named Nate On. And he's on my subscription. I'm subscribed to him. You could also search for him on YouTube. Nate, N-A-T-E, On. And he's a Korean guy. Everything is in Korean, but, maybe you can turn the caption on. But this is okay, so it's an increased attack speed jewel with 30 max jewel and resist a max jewel. If you can see all that. So it's a 15 attack speed. And then like I think it was like all res, 14 all res. And then it's a 130 max, which is what makes it 45. And then yeah, I guess the rest was just 15. I don't remember. I'm sorry, but this was the kind of the spec that he had, and this was to hit the breakpoint. But obviously, I'm over the breakpoint, so I didn't need all the increased attack speed, which is why I got these other jewels. And then for my necklace, I'm using Atma, and that's mainly for the damage from Amplify. So it's only 5% chance, but still, it helps out. And I guess the fact that it maxes my poison res out really well with, a little bit of attack bonus, attack rating bonus, I guess it's like okay. And then for my boot, I'm using War Traveler. And I think boots are a little bit open to interpretation. You can go with like a tri-res. But for this one, I'm going with this. It kind of gives you more damage, strength, vit, MF, with the MF and how it kind of gets, kind of like reduced over time, or if you stack too much. The first 100 MF is pretty meaningful in the return of the investment. But it's not like you're going to find so much more items, but it's just, I understand that first 300 MF is very, very meaningful upon the return of the investment of the MF. So that's why I just went with this. And this is, I got this for more for resist, because I needed more resist. But yeah, maybe I could have gotten a better ring. But my leeching is done here, so I didn't need leeching on my ring. So for now, I'm rolling with this. It has a min strength, lightning res 30. That's what I was really looking for. And then obviously Raven and Razor Tail. That's for the piercing, which I think is like the most overpowered thing when it comes to Amazon. And laying of the hands, very cost effective and yet strong gloves. And for my charms, if you see, so these are all max attack rating lifers, but all in different shapes. As you know, I like to usually things kind of like same shape for like skillers. And for this, usually I just get two grand here because if I have to, use my cube to move items around, if I'm using like small charms to move it, it's like 4 times I gotta move them, whereas this grand is just once, or 3 times I guess in comparison to small. So that's why I'm just using 2 grand here just to make my life easier. And then Annie, ooh, this is one offer perfect too. Yeah, I got this from Yogin on D2JSP. Like he sells them for like 8 4 gold a pop, un-ID ones. And I got lucky on this one. I got a lot of good ones off of them. Yeah. And then here's my torch. And also on my off, I'm using a CTA with a bow. So that's that. And on my stats, so like I'm at 186 because of the Breath of the Dying, which gives 30 off. So on the off, I put enough to get to 156, and then boom, I swap, and I get 30 more. So yeah, and if you see here, well, so 156 here, and I maxed out dex, nothing, and my resistance wise, okay, my fire and poison's maxed out. My lightning is 56, which I guess is good enough, kinda. Cold is probably the most negligible. If you had to drop a res, I think cold would be that res. I think lightning and fire, definitely. Poison can be very annoying too. I'm sure you guys know some of the bell waves, like they poison you, and like it does take you down if you don't have enough reds. So, and on my talents, this is the way I went with this one. So this is a little bit of a, yeah, guided arrow. Yes, it can be questionable, but just my preference, I guess. Yeah, it's not like the old days, but just I went with this one. And then max out strafe, which will probably become your main form of damage. Nothing in javelin. And for the passive, I put enough so that when I bow I get 65, because I know there's a diminishing return as you put more points in here. And then maxed out penetrate. And I put enough where when I bow I'll be at 69, and a razor skin gives you 33, so it just guarantees you're over. And then rest, I'm just putting into Valkyrie because there's just nothing else to go into, I guess. So yeah, this is my overall, talents. And then for my mercenary, I'm using faith because you need faith. That's gonna be the key thing to hit that, the frames per second. And then like these are kind of off of my other like mercenary tunes, so like kind of obviously my Act 2 mercenary, so it kind of has their gears and all, but oh, but this one is actually, yeah, I made it especially for her. It's Ethereal Chains of Honors. And the Chains of Honors, I think, is pretty powerful weapon. Armor, I mean, it has resist, which is huge, like 65 res, right? And life stolen, which is something I'm always looking for in a mercenary. And this Andariel's helm, I guess this is like from my Act 2 mercenary. I could, I guess, put on something else, maybe Dream. I don't know, like, I don't think like any other stuff I can put on would make that big of an I mean, there are like 3 or 5 other items I could think of to put on, but it's kind of all like similar. I mean, this, okay, just gives me more life stolen, I guess that's a big thing, but this is off my Act 2 mercenary and I'm not gonna throw this away. So you could put something else if you want. Maybe gaze is an option, like I said, the Rune War helm, Delirium, yeah, that one is would be another option. But yeah, that's my overall spec. And for my speed, I guess I'll go ahead and do a calculator and kind of see where I'm at. So if you see here, okay, so I'm on Amazon using a Hydra bow. Okay, H. Do I know my ABCDs? Oh, it's my third language, so. And then 60 on the bow, 20 right on the glove, and then I'm getting 15 here, and that should be about it. Yeah, okay, so what, that's 35 here, and then I have 15 fanaticism. So standard, which pretty much covers like everything, like guided, multi, it's all standard. So I'm at 7 frames, which is maxed out. Strafe is maxed out. Now let's play with it a little. Okay, strafe I'm still maxed out here, but question is on the standard, see, I lose it. See, even at 30 I'm not maxed out. That's why 35 maxes me out. Hence 20 and the 15 from the glove, I'm done with it. So anyways, I have a cow here, and I'll go ahead and start the cow and Diablo and Baal like I always do. So let me go ahead and summon that. And as I kill, I guess there have been some news in the industry for the game. I'm sure you guys have heard. On one hand, I wasn't too surprised, but still, I am disappointed. And that's the Blizzard situation with the misabuse of the female workers, And I guess that's the trend these days, just the Me Too movement kind of trend. After that's being brought to light and so much of the social issues in relation to that, I think is coming to life. And yeah, I think it's a good thing on one hand, but on the other, like what had happened in Blizzard for a long time, I guess, yeah, it wasn't good. For me personally, I went and canceled my Diablo 2 Resurrection purchase. I will not be playing Resurrection. I just cannot support what they have done. And see, I'm 1980s, and I grew up in this era. Like, I grew up playing Blizzard games. Like, I remember Warcraft 2 in CD days, or or diskette days. The 3.5, not the floppy at least. Was the floppy 3.5? Anyways, the smaller one, right? Before the CD. I remember having 18 of those, 18 copies of those for Diablo 2. Because that's how the game had come out on one of the versions, and CD had just started, and it was like playing Diablo and Blizzard, Warcraft 2 was like, because I couldn't really get it to run on my 386 computer, so it was like a pretty big deal, you know what I mean? It was like, oh my god, like you're playing, the orcs. Oh, how fun is it? Like I'll be asking my friends and I'll watch them play. And this Diablo 2 also, was a big part of my life when I was in college or when I was at university. Like, playing, Diablo 2 was like, so I guess, but it's not like anything new, right? And we've seen this ever since Blizzard have been bought out by Activision back in like about 2008ish. I mean, at first, from what I understand, Activision wasn't as active in their, butting into Blizzard gaming, but they have been involved, and if I could remember correctly, it seems like starting from like year 2018, Activision's influence over Blizzard games have been more. That's why a lot of the original Blizzard, like, gamers, I guess the big people, they left the company. Was Mark Morhaime part of that? I'm not sure. But I know like some people left the company because it was, a lot of people said, like, I remember the CFO, the Activision CFO's comment talking about profit over creativity, and Blizzard has always held themselves to a high standard of quality before anything, which they pride in. I don't totally agree, but nevertheless, yes, Blizzard has been the leading gamers in the world, right? I mean, with the RTS, real-time strategy, with the Blizzard, StarCraft, which Koreans are still playing, and Korean pro gamers are still making a living off of that. I mean, it's pretty remarkable how Blizzard game has transformed Korea, and also really contributed to the a lot of social things, as well as like the improvement of the internet as well. I mean, you go to Korea, like wow, what's going on here? Okay, let me close this. Like, the internet speed, right? I don't know if you guys heard, like, it's the fastest in the world. Like, when I was there, I was paying $1 an hour, and I had to download this installation of this game that I was gonna play with my friend. It's, oh, don't worry, dude, it'll take you like 5 minutes. And the file's like 70 gig. It's a pretty serious game. I'm like, oh wow, 70 gig in 5 minutes? I mean, you tell me, guys, can you guys download a 70 gig in 5 minutes here? This is 15 years ago, and I'm talking about in Korea. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, whoa, that shit was running at like, I don't remember. He did download in 5 minutes. And then we were playing in like 15 total. I mean, how fast is that? It's crazy. So, but anyways, like, it is, unfortunate. Like, for me, like, Warcraft 3, I played that. Oh my god. I played hours of that. You know, also with the gameplay too. As you guys can see, you know, the amp proxy now, but this build isn't that strong, or isn't as strong as Faith, I guess you could say. As you can see, it's not as fast as Faith, or maybe Brand. Oh my god, I should have just gone down. See, I don't use a map pack no more, so sometimes I get lost. But yeah, it's. I mean, the numbers look high and strong, but they're not necessarily strong. So it is a kind of fun, you know, this character to have around, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. So, but yeah, unfortunately, you know, Blizzard has really disappointed me. I cannot support that. I just can't. You know, I play WoW for many years, and Warcraft 3, you know, as I was saying earlier. Yeah, I play that a lot. I play a lot of that, and I still play sometimes. Reforged I had purchased, and then I demanded my refund because it was the worst of all. But yeah, just you know, I have a lot of memories having played Blizzard games for so long, and I guess it was just unfortunate that that was part of it. And I guess it is what it is. But I mean, if you look at the market out there today, you know, it's not the same. You know, like there's so many different game makers who are offering so many different kind of gaming experience to try to, you know, attract their attention and our wallets. Like, you know, why should I play that when, let's say, you know, Path of Exile is free, and it is the same action RPG, which of course, yes, Blizzard and Diablo 2 have built the genre of. You know, back in the old days, we never even had that kind of category, right? Action RPG, like what the hell is that? But now, you know, we have all these kind of sophisticated terms for everything, right? But yeah, you know, Diablo 2 made the way. It's the Bible. It's the skeleton. It's the spinal cord of a lot of the gaming industry and gaming genres of today. But yeah, I haven't went to their campus because I actually live in Irvine, California. I have friends who work there, and like, yeah, Blizzard campus. I went there. I graduated UCI. Before they were right next to UCI. That's when I went there first, and you know, it was very eye opening. I was like, wow, like this is Blizzard. It's right next to UCI. It's hiding right here, because you know, back in those days, like you know, you guys, if you're not my generation, you may not know. Like I grew up from dial-up, 14.4K bits per second, and then which went to 28.8, and then later 56. And then, you know, all these cables and Ethernet, and you know, when I had gone to university my first year, like they had Ethernet at UCI, and I'm like, we're all like, what the hell is Ethernet? And we look into it, and we're like, oh wow, this is like a crazy T7 connection. Well, we didn't know, because we're all like just, you know, farmers, I guess. Like we're just stuck to just dial up, you know. And only thing that mattered to us as a freshman in UCI was that we didn't have to call to connect to the internet, which everything else we had to do, like AOL, right? Do you guys all remember AOL, America Online? Oh yeah, I remember that. So that was the biggest thing. Like we didn't care like what the speed was. We didn't have to, you know, dial up, because back in the days, my generation people should know what I mean. Like, ooh, that's too much money. But like, if you were on the internet using a dial-up, and then let's say like somebody called you, ooh, something's gonna happen. Either A, you're gonna get disconnected, or B, that person will not be able to connect to your phone. And it was kind of random what would happen based on, you know, just your location and what kind of service provider you had. But you know, it sucked. And also, you had to pay for your minutes back then. So being online, like you had to pay like sometimes like $300 to $500 in phone bill. You know, it was those kind of days. So when we knew that we didn't have to dial up to connect to the internet, you know, we were thinking like, oh, it's gonna save us money. And wow, like we don't have to dial up. It's like we don't have to go to the ching ching ching. You know, it's like, I don't know, good 30 seconds. This crap, you know. So yeah, and Blizzard was hiding right next to UCI, leeching the internet. That's what it was. So yeah, sorry, I'm digressing around here, but overall, you know, Blizzard is a gaming company that is meaningful to me in so many ways. I grew up playing their game, like yeah, but with what had happened, I decided not to, stay with my purchase for the Resurrected. So sorry guys, but I won't be making any content. Like, I guess, after I'm done with this, when I'm done with all my tunes that I have here in Classic, yeah, I guess I'll be finishing my upload on Diablo stuff. I cannot continue to upload their content as well, or content based on their book. So yeah, sorry if you're subscribed to me for Diablo stuff, but it is what it is. But anyways, I guess I'll still play the game though, unfortunately, because I'm not gonna lose my account. I'm not gonna lose any of my tunes. So I'll just log on here and there. Maybe I'll do some videos later about something else. But for now, let me go ahead and get to. Well, Diablo is not gonna do it, but at least I'm maxed out on fire. So the pros and cons, I guess. The pros is that like the resist part is kind of better maybe. Or maybe there is no pros at all with this Breath of Dying build, maybe overall. I do have another Amazon build that I believe is a fail. It's probably like the tune I regret the most. It's a physical Bowazon. I will showcase her too, she's one of my tunes. But she is... yeah, just, But anyways. So in another news though, one thing, as you guys know, I'm on Army, and I guess I can't just not go by and not mention what had happened on the billboard. As many of you may know, BTS is whipping up the world, and there's some butter that was released in what? This is what, mid-May? I think it was mid-May, yeah, 5/18. Like, it's been #1, like, forever, right? So it was #1 for 7 weeks in a row, and then the following week, their new song, Permission to Dance, was released, which also had international sign languages. Just shocked the world, right? Because BTS themselves never said anything about it. No one said anything for about a week. I know, I remember. And then all of a sudden, about a week later, somebody starts reporting, right? It's like, oh, hey, like I was watching this with my disabled, relative, and my relative is telling me, sign language, that BTS is telling him to get up and dance. It's like, whoa, So it was pretty meaningful in that way. And so on the week 8, BTS's Permission to Dance became #1, and Butter became #7. I don't know why 7 even, like it should just go down to #2, But the funny thing is, like, okay, so first it did a baton touch, what Koreans are saying, baton touch. So when you're doing like a relay marathon, you're holding on to that thing, like a circle thing, usually called baton, and then you just pass it to the next person. So yeah, that's what happened. BTS's Butter was #1, and your baton touch to Permission to Dance, which is amazing. Like, for what I have watched and read, supposedly it's like a record that's been done twice. Once by Drake, and now second by BTS. So, if that is indeed true, then again, BTS just set another crazy record for, all that. So, it's pretty amazing. And the following week, Butter took over for #1 again. And BTS's Permission to Dance is now down to 7. And that's just kind of, I don't understand why 7. Like, why isn't it just #2? Like, what, because all these other people's #2 song that's been there forever needs to stay in the spot or something? I mean, I just, obviously there's racism, Like I said on the Grammy thing on my other video, yeah, there's racism in the world. We all know it. Koreans were racist even against our own people who are, who I guess white people would say look same, right? Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, white people cannot tell the same. Oh, trust me, we can tell. We know who's Korean, we know who's Chinese. Chinese and Koreans don't look alike. Japanese too. We know. But like, we can't tell the Europeans. And my mercenary died. And I don't have any money on her. Ooh, okay. Let me do something real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, she has money. Okay, sorry. Well, let me close this back, make it a little prettier. So, like, I guess, it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, like, why number 7? Like, oh, and like I was saying, like, yeah, Koreans were racist against their own people. Yeah, like, yeah, because, during the last kingdom, Joseon Kingdom, and even in the previous ones, too, like, there were slavery systems. And you would wonder, like, oh, wow, like, you all look alike. How can you tell? Trust me, we can tell. So, racism exists everywhere. These, like, system, I guess. Ooh, yeah, that's immune. I mean, system will always be there. So, regardless of color. Immune to physical and stone skin. That's the worst combo. I have magic arrow, right? Thankfully, I'm able to use that to. Ooh, okay. My amp proc. And I better reach some of my rat rates as well. Let me pick that up. Runic Talent? It could be something unique. So, yeah, like number 7. Why? Like, what? Like, okay. Okay, so first, right? So Butter was number 1, and Permission to Dance came out. Okay, it's really good. It became number 1, and shouldn't Butter just become number 2? In a way, because the popularity was and is still great. Because the following week, we took the place as a number 1. I mean, how can a song that was number 7 jump all the way to number 1? In a way, I mean, I don't know how the top board that thing goes in America because I don't follow that, unfortunately, in a way. But I mean, does that kind of sound weird to you guys too? No, like, is it to me thinking that's weird? I mean, to me, it's okay. Like I said, I don't care. Yeah, it is racism. Okay, then let it be. Just, let me just say it, yo. It's like, hey, we don't like you Asians taking over, yo. So we're not gonna make you number 2. We'll just make you number 7. And then the next week, Butter takes over. It's like, and now Permission to Dance is number 7. And what gives? Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever, the Grammy didn't make sense. Why BTS didn't win, right? There's so much hate on that. So, what? Okay, let me identify one of these. 13 max, that's trash. This could be something interesting. And maybe even the Troll's Nest too, huh? Because I'm looking for that item all the time. No. Oh no, it's a shield. Okay, let me just restock on these real quick. So this build, as you can see, Diablo wasn't that bad. It was pretty. Ooh. Oh yeah. If there was like what, 20 faster run walk and 30 faster run walk, 20 FCR with 2 socket and life and mana, then they'll be like pretty sick helm. So anyways, here, let me just go on. Oh, and I have my wizard in here. Because yeah, if it's a non-teleporting tune, I figure like, yeah, just me running there, like, it's pretty damn long, so. Okay, let me just go to this guy down here. I guess, when it's my Amazons, like, I guess not just my Amazons, any tune that doesn't use Enigma. I'm sure you guys have felt it too, just mobility, yeah. For some people, just live and die by Enigma, right? They always, use that regardless. And I remember there was this guy on my channel, like, he just kept replying to every single one of my videos, just complaining that I'm using Enigma on like a barbarian. He's saying I should use a fort. And it's like, well, yeah, thanks for your thought, but, I'm gonna stay with Enigma for this, because there's a reason why, right? And, no, seriously, and some people would say, like, maybe, like, oh, on a mercenary, you can use one. Yes, on my other mercenaries, especially a faith-wielding Act 1 mercenary, which is usually used by an Amazon, by me as well. Yes, they usually have it. Because that's also what Nato, the Korean guy, what he suggests. And the reason why is because of the faster run walk. The 45 faster run walk on Enigma really helps a lot. Especially on the mercenary, that's why he's doing that. And based on his argument and what I had seen with other Korean streamers of Diablo 2, that seems to be the case. So, But on this one, I'm just kind of doing this. Maybe I should go ahead and maybe change that and fix my mobility issue by building Enigma on my mercenary and swapping it off. But on the other hand, I'm too lazy for that. Like, just even this, even this to move items, like, is kind of annoying, but I do it just to maximize my charm slot. So, yeah, do I want to do that with teleporting? I don't know. If the user interface and graphics were better, maybe. But now that I won't be playing Resurrected, I don't know about that anymore. Okay. Is there more? Oh, okay, I just didn't see him laughing, or hear him laughing. So yeah, next one. I think I prefer my Faith. I guess your Faith is what people would argue like the best weapon for Amazon right now. It's kind of unfortunate, I feel like. Because there's like, in a way, like, I mean, this is an old game, right? This is like 20 years old. So things were not as thought out as it is now, today. Like, refined, I guess. But now, these days, so much more details have been thought out in so many different ways. So, like these itemizations or like how you talent and stuff, it's evolved. But here, you kind of see like a raw form of it. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I mean, even the synergy thing, the talents synergizing with each other, like, that wasn't from the beginning. I remember in the beginning, like, with, let's say, Frenzy with Barbarian, oh, you didn't have those kind of stuff. No, it was just talent alone. And that helped out. And I don't know if I remember this correctly or not, but I thought the Grand Charms, the Skillers, like, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought there were +1 skill to all every time. Like, it wasn't like bound by talent tree. That's what I mean. Like today, like these days, right? It's like what, Javelin or passive or bow. But it was like plus all to Amazon or plus all to Barbarian. That's what I thought it was. I really remember that. Well, maybe I could be wrong. But anyways, let's go say hi to Bill. Like for, ooh, that's fake. That's fake. That's the real one. The one thing kind of good, I guess, is that with my, mercenary, she doesn't have to be next to me. Well, she has to be close enough though, so I can get my Faith. So that's the point, it's like, for example, if you're using a Reaper's Toll Act 2 mercenary, for whatever reason, you would need, the mercenary to attack and hit the target to be effective, to be kind of worth, the item and the investment. But in this kind of Faith or aura based, you don't have to. I guess I kind of find that kind of good. But overall, yeah, Veil still takes forever. Look at this. And there's all the Bowazons, and it takes forever. And the top is a fake one. And in a way, that's why, like, I have that guided arrow, but because of the nerf with the guided arrow, I mean, yeah, it's not that good too. I'm strafing for now. Let me see if I can proc amp on that, because I think, yeah, see, that was the fake one. Oh, there we go. Amp proc. Okay, keep firing my guided. Yeah, now it goes better. So much better. I guess, yeah, you guys saw. Wait for your amp to proc, go straight, and then finish it off with the guided. Took forever and dropped nothing good. Thank you, Vale. I'm gonna identify that. Nothing good. So anyways, that was the build, that was the play. And yeah, like I say, it's not as strong as like my Breeze of the Canyon or my Faith. Or even my, the brand. I think that, most like cool and enjoyable is probably brand. Like, that's still one of my, enjoyable. So, but I have another Bowazon, and that's a Wind Force Bowazon. Not even the old. Yeah, no, not the old school. I don't have that. Just the new one, the suckier one. So I'll go ahead and showcase that one too. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good one.